Hi, I'm Rita Joint and welcome to the Unbox Your Gift video training series. In this 4-part video series, we're going to go through the steps of Unbox Your Gift to get you to identify what exactly is your passion. So if you're in the position of being stuck in a rut, not enjoying your job, going from job to job, unhappy with your current job, trying to look for the next chapter, the next level of potential you want to tap into, to actually do work that's of value to you and to your conscious and to your soul and heart, then this 4-part training series is guiding you along that process of Unbox Your Gift to identify what that is within you. So how did Unbox Your Gift come into existence? If you don't know much about me, I'm originally from Afghanistan. And as we escaped Afghanistan, we eventually became refugees. And so my family and I settled in Australia, and this was obviously a life-changing event for me and for my family. And because of this experience, my attention has focused on, well, what is my purpose? What is my gift? What is it that I need to work on, develop, work in, to honor the blessing of having escaped Afghanistan and to honor the God-given talent that God has given me? Because I believe that we've all been given a gift. What we do with it is our gift back to the world. So that's been my reoccurring question. And that's what Unbox Your Gift is about. It's really about unboxing what it is that your gift is. Because when I started off coming into school, I used to suffer from a speech impediment. So as a refugee going along the lines, I developed a speech impediment. So I used to stutter. So I would talk along the lines of, can I please, couldn't get sentences out. I was a stutterer. And who would have thought a stutterer who wasn't able to speak English when I started school, not being able to communicate anyway, not being able to speak the language, all at the same time developing this passion for public speaking. Go figure. But that's the way it all started for me. For me, public speaking was a passion, even though I was totally terrible at it. Even though I couldn't speak in public, even though I had no courage or confidence, let alone the ability to say a sentence in one flow. But the joy of public speaking brought something to me that no other skill did. And I made that something that I now benefit from, and that's what Unbox Your Gift is. What is your gift? What is your gift that to others is like a disability or a mishap? Something that no one would ever find in you. And sometimes you'd even think, nah, that would not be what I would be good at. But Unbox Your Gift is exactly that, unboxing it outside of the traditional way of how people see a skill or talent should be. After graduating, I went from job to job. And then I finally worked out a way to use my passion for speaking as an expression of what I wanted to do. And so I became a trainer. And I went and looked at the problems that existed in companies, the training problems. I researched solutions, I trialed the solutions, and then I went out and created training products and material to upskill staff to bridge the gap between where they were and where they needed to be. And I did that in the media, telecommunications, education, government, and not-for-profit sectors. And I absolutely loved it. But even though I had worked in so many different sectors, the reoccurring question that kept popping up was, only reason I'm in this training room is because my manager says I've got to be here. Or I've got to tick a box to say that my half-yearly review says I need to do some kind of training. And then I ask people, well, what do you want to do? If you don't want to be in this room and you're only here because you're forced to, which implies that you're doing this job because you just have to, then what do you really want to do? And most people would say, I don't know. If I knew what I wanted to do, I certainly wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. Can you relate to that? So the invitation here is to really identify what you're good at. And I thought to myself that if I do all these kinds of training for so many different organizations, what if I tapped into that one question when a graduate, when a person who finishes university, when a person who goes through years of experience of work and still doesn't find fulfillment, and maybe has some level of fulfillment but knows there's more potential to really dive into. How do you work out what that potential skill, talent, how do you work that out? And that's what Unbox training is all about. Unbox Your Gift training is all about identifying that, and that's what I've now put my skills and talents towards. So rather than go work it out for companies, I've now consolidated all my research and my learning and created a system, a process, so to speak, to get yourself to identify what's unique to you and how do you unbox it that's unique to your lifestyle. Most people go to personality profiles. You know, you go in and type in a bunch of questions, I should say answer a bunch of questions about, you know, your behavior, what would you do in this situation, how would you react if that happened to you, and you type all these answers in, and then a computer generated answer is then spat back out at you to tell you that you maybe you're an influencer, you may be an extrovert, an introvert, a dominant individual, whatever the title may be. And it's always about squeezing you into a certain box. And what happens most of the time is people get kind of caught up with this title, this label, and they consider themselves as just an extrovert or introvert or dominant or influencer or conservative or whatever the title is, and don't really seem to unbox themselves from that title. So this system is not about placing you in a box. It's really trying to unbox you, aka the name, and really get you to identify that real gift in you. Values and personality traits. And this is probably one of the most important steps. And the reason sometimes it gets ignored is because it's so simple. People think it's got to be more complicated than that. It can't be that simple. But we have all these rules that if something is complicated, then it must be right or it must make sense. Surely it can't be that simple. But I'm telling you, if you do these steps along the way as we do the videos, if you do them with us, if you do it along the way, then by the end of the 4th video, you'll get an answer to where you need to be at, or what's really triggering you to go to that next step, that next level for yourself. So, values and personality traits. Ask yourself, what describes you? How do you see yourself? How do you see yourself outside of the influence of any alcohol or any kind of any cigarettes or tobacco or any other external drug, or any other stimulant that you might take? Who are you at your core? How would you describe yourself? And really get into the motion of it. And the reason why this is really important, this particular step, is say you describe yourself as someone who is bubbly, vivacious, outgoing, and extrovert. And then you end up as having a role as an accountant. Nothing wrong with an accountant. But if you describe yourself as vivacious, outgoing, people person, and get stuck behind a desk, suddenly you're not a happy camper because your personality is not reinforced. You know, it's like being in a relationship. When you're in a relationship that just enhances who you are, that really just motivates you, you become more of a person. Same with a job. If you're in a job that sucks life out of you, it's like being in a bad relationship. It's just like, oh, it feels terrible. It feels like work, and there's no emotion. There's just like, I've just got to do what I need to do and then get out. That's what it would feel like. So your personality is really important because it has to really reinforce what you do. So looking at your personality traits is the first thing you need to do. Now, on the flip side, what are your values? And to work out what your values are, ask yourself, what's important to you? What's truly important to you? Some people might say health, security, love, wealth. What is it for you that is priority? And that's what's going to really gel and marry into your gift. So let me give you an example. Now, I've been a trainer for quite some time, and I've trained, like I said, in many different industries. I love training because it reinforces my personality. It really brings out the most of me. But my values, one of my top 3 values is faith, health, and love. And if I were to go, for example, and train a company that sells tobacco, now I'm training, it reinforces what I love, my personality, really brings out the more of me. But if I were to go and train in a company that doesn't resonate with my values, there is a disconnect. There is a disconnection happening that I could do it, but there's like this clash of priority and of feelings and of values. And when that clash happens, that too becomes disaster zone. Because yes, you feel great because your personality is enhanced and you're more of yourself, and these are the gifts that God's given you, so you want to make the most of it. But then putting it in a place where it doesn't serve your values and what you feel to be true and important, then that's where the disconnection happens. So your personality and your values are very important to be aligned with what's true to you. And let's face it, this is about your gift, not about what your next door neighbor or what your teacher or what your manager or what your colleague thinks is good for you or what your priorities are the best. It's really defined by what gift is going to really resonate with you. And to first find that, you need to look within yourself and identify, write it down. What personality traits do you identify with? And then secondly, what are the values that are most important to you? That was step one, values and your personality traits. Now in the next video that you're going to receive shortly, it's going to be about the activities. The activities that really engage you in a state of flow. You know, the state of flow is defined by when time passes and you've just got no realization. That's the activities that you want to be engaging in. But how to identify those activities is what we're going to be covering in the very next video, shortly coming your way. So stay tuned for video number 2 in these series, and remember to do exercise number 1, because in each video the exercises will build. If you like this video, I'd love to hear from you and find out what you took away from it, what insight or what your personality traits and your values are to keep you committed to getting through the exercises. Also, if this information and the message of identifying what your gift is resonates with maybe in your mind a sister, a brother, a colleague, an aunt, an uncle, anyone that you think, then please feel free to pass this video on. As always, thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in video 2 of the activities that get you into a state of flow to identifying your gift. Till then, take care and I'll see you later.